Since I saw Ultimate Infestation, I've been wanting to play a Quest Druid deck with Jungle Giants, and the reason Ultimate Infestation is so good in this deck is probably pretty obvious. The Ultimate Infestation itself summons a 5-power minion, which counts towards the quest, and if you've played Barnabas and all the minions in your deck cost 0, and then you cast Ultimate Infestation, and you can theoretically draw 5 playable minions that turn. If you follow the tournament scene at all, someone is taking Quest Druid to some important tournament that's coming up this weekend. But my list is a little bit different. He's trying to just play big stuff on the board and win through tempo. I'm trying to play Ultimate Infestation and draw a bunch of shit that charges at my opponent's face and then kill them with that. In theory, this deck can go Ultimate Infestation for 5, Leroy Double Faceless for 18, which is up to 23, and double Reckless Rocketeer for 33 damage, and you can even Menagerie Warden a Druid of the Claw too. So the deck has insane burst potential, but also since you've got so many different chargers going on within the deck, there's no strict win condition, it's pretty flexible. I also had to craft 2 Ancients of Lore for this deck because they contribute toward the quest, and when they cost 0 mana, they're just a 0 mana 5/5 that draws a card, which is pretty good. As far as for the main way that we're completing our quest, it's mostly going to be with the Shell Shifter, Stranglethorn Tiger, and Menagerie Warden Beast package, because Shell Shifter and Tiger count toward the quest, and then when you play Menagerie Warden, it counts toward the quest, and the copy that it summons also counts toward the quest. So it's a very efficient way to complete the quest. We're also playing Druid of the Claw, which doesn't really count toward the quest, but it's a charging beast that you can play with Menagerie Warden after you've played your Barnabas. You can stack Mark of Yashiraj on it to get even more burst damage out of it, and it's also just a thing that you can play in the mid-game. And since we're playing so many beasts, Mark of Yashiraj is quite good in this deck. Not only is it just a good card when you have this many beasts, and we do want to cycle through our deck so we can find our chargers, but after we've played Barnabas, the thing you draw costs 0 mana, so it's just pretty good at getting to your charge win condition. And then other than that, we're just playing some ramp and removal. I don't usually play too many games with my decks before I make videos on them, but this one I have actually played a lot. I've played 80 games with it, and I'm currently sitting at a 42% win rate, which is not great. But what I've discovered with this deck, which maybe is fairly obvious looking at it, you get pretty shit on by aggro because you don't really have the tools to stop it. I was at a point playing Spreading Plague and stuff like that to help the aggro matchups, but they were just kind of dead cards in the control matchups, and the control matchups are where this deck really shines. I'm 12-5 against Priest, and that's mostly Highlander Priest because even though they have their Anduin, which kills your stuff on board, they can't heal for that much, so you just charge at them over a couple turns and they die eventually. But you get completely farmed by every aggro deck. Somehow I'm 4-3 against Warrior. I don't know how that's happening. But Pirate Warrior has to be a terrible matchup. Aggro Druid, Murloc Paladin, those all have to be just terrible matchups for this deck. So it's bad against aggro and it's good against Priest. So I wanted to save the deck for after the nerfs because obviously aggro takes a big hit and I expect Priest is probably going to be pretty much everywhere. But the nerfs are still pretty far out and have to play a deck for my YouTube channel, right? Alright, don't be Pirate Warrior. Pirate Warrior's tough.
I must protect the wild.
Alright, so if he's not Pirate Warrior, we have to keep Jungle Giants to win. If he is Pirate Warrior, Shell Shifter is decent. I don't normally like to keep Shell Shifter, but maybe in the chance of pirates I have to. It's also possible that I should just not respect Pirate Warrior because I can't beat it at all. But we're gonna try. We got a decent hand. We have Wild Growth into a Sinjin. Or maybe depending on the board state, I just play it in stealth form. Menagerie Warden definitely incentivizes the stealth form. Blood Mage Thalnos. Well, I guess that tells me that he's not Pirate Warrior. We actually already have enough 5-power minions in hand to complete the quest already, assuming he can't interact with my stealth minions. Well, shit. Still counts though, which is nice, I guess. But I definitely wanted to use that to copy. But we're still basically at 4 out of 5 right now, assuming this other Menagerie Warden can land. Okay, slam makes sense. Leroy Jenkins. I think I'm just gonna do this and leave this guy stealth. I really, really want to copy this with a Menagerie Warden, or else I could have sent this in hero power into the Dirty Rat and then sent the 5/2 Menagerie Warden into the Blood Mage Thalnos. But then I have 2 1-health things, and if he has like a Whirlwind effect, which surely is in his deck, then I would have been in trouble. This is a slightly better thing to copy with the Menagerie Warden, but let's just go ahead and take the guarantee while we have it. Puts us up to 4 out of 5. We can play Tiger on 7, Barnabas on 8, and then we can Infestation right on curve. We drew Leroy already, which isn't great, but we do still have double Faceless, double Reckless Rocketeer in the deck. Wow. I have to assume some type of AoE is hitting me next turn. Let's just play the Tiger, since if I play Lore here, then he can like run his weapon into the Lore and play Fishes. This way, if he has to go face with his weapon and then play Fishes, I still have a 5/1. And also, since we already have our quest complete, we don't necessarily want to be drawing that many cards right now. We'd rather save Ancient of Lore for after Barnabas if possible.
Let the pain speak to me.
Whirlwind Fishes. Damn. Sucks that he had that Whirlwind, but it's probably not that big a deal, I guess. Alright. So we play Barnabas here, and then we can Nourish next turn. We might even be able to kill him next turn. We'd probably have to get fairly lucky to have lethal next turn, though. But Nourish into Infestation, we're gonna have like our entire deck in hand. Execute, sure. Actually, maybe I just play Lore this turn. No, I think I want to just go ahead and play Nourish, get some cards. There's Faceless. We have 16 damage. Leroy, Innervate Leroy into... Oh, okay, we won. Turn 9 lethal. Oh no, turn 7 or 8 lethal, because I ramped. Shaman's probably tough. If he's an aggro list, obviously he just like kills me until I die, and that's not fun. Probably have to keep Wrath in case he is playing those annoying early game totems. But yeah, like even if he's Jade Shaman or something like that, they just have so many taunts. And my deck kind of tries to charge minions at the face and doesn't appreciate being taunted. Well, if he is an aggressive deck, he's got a slow opener, which is definitely good for me. Jeez. I guess we're just gonna play the Nourish here, because we don't really have much else to do. Considering I had double Innervate in my hand, I was actually tempted to like hold out on the Nourish and try to draw cards with it. But pretty much everything in my deck is gas at this point, so I think with all this mana I should be pretty likely to draw into a play. And I was also thinking I can use Wrath to draw cards, but I think I'm gonna have to Wrath this totem here. Do I have to Wrath it? If I don't Wrath it here, like I try to draw off the healing totem and kill that, it just seems like it's gonna take forever for me to actually be able to kill this. So, we'll just kill it now. Alright, Shell Shifter is a good draw. That's something that we can do with our Menagerie Warden next turn. I think a lot of the Evolve lists now do play Jade Spirit, so I'm still not entirely sure of his archetype. But given that he's playing Jade Spirit, oh, that's a bummer. But, oh, that's kind of decent, I guess. But given that he's playing Jade Spirit and has had such a slow opener, it kind of seems like he's probably playing like Jade Chieftains, maybe, that kind of stuff. So this is only a 1 out of 5. Probably don't want to use the Warden here. So we're just gonna Innervate out Infestation next turn.
Golems are a girl's best friend.
There's Aya. We could actually go for like Tiger, Innervate, Faceless on the Tiger here. And then follow that up with Warden. And then we could try to hold the Infestation for a post-Barnabas play. Kinda hate to use my Faceless like that. I think I'm gonna try this line of play though. Seems like the most efficient way to finish my quest, and I already saw one devolve. Hopefully he doesn't have a second. Okay, so he is a heavier list like I expected. Unfortunately, we're not going to have mana to play Barnabas this turn. That's really good, though. So we'll get to copy an even bigger Tiger. And we'll just kill this guy, I guess. Nourish next turn would be the nuts. Because we can Barnabas Nourish. Given the current board state, there's also some chance that we just play Beast Druid and kill him to death with big tigers. Okay, there's a Storm. Hopefully low roll on the 5/5. It's a bummer, because now I can send the 2/2 into it. Let's draw a card with Wrath. The drawing a card is really valuable here because if it's a minion it costs 0 mana. Don't think we can play Leroy here, unfortunately. Just kill off this Mana Tide Totem. But it is good that we got a 0-cost Leroy in hand. We can pull our Faceless, that's also 0. We have a 0-cost Rocketeer in the deck. And sometimes he can't deal with this 8/8. Seems like a pretty nice Hex target, though. Bone Mare. Okay, there's a Druid of the Claw. We have 17, 18 damage here, actually. But obviously, 18's not good enough. We could actually try to Infestation for lethal here. 17. We'd need to draw 10 damage from deck, which would be Faceless plus Rocketeer. Other than exactly Faceless plus Rocketeer, it's actually kind of tough. So we'll just play board control this turn. So we'll kill that. I think we'll taunt this guy up. Try to protect our 8/4. Right now, how much do we have in hand? 25 from hand? So if one of my minions lives, we have lethal. Plus we can dig for more cards with wild growths. Plus we have a natural draw next turn. I think there's a pretty good chance we'll have lethal next turn. Okay, there's the Hex. So we should have lethal here, right? Should be pretty easy even, so this puts him to 19. Yeah, this is super lethal. I never get tired of playing these cards like this. We just straight up had 6 over. And we could have still wild growth for 2 more cards.
Malfurion versus Garrosh. Victory or death! I must protect the wild.
Have to assume he's Pirate Warrior. I guess we'll try mulliganing the quest. If he's not Pirate Warrior, we just straight up lose by mulliganing the quest. So, let's hope that doesn't happen. It's a nice pickup. Can play this next turn and then coin out the Druid of the Claw the following turn. Even better, we can coin Druid of the Claw into Tiger into Warden. This might actually be winnable. Probably just charge the Druid of the Claw here. If we charge it, it goes down to a 4-2, you can War Axe into it, but if we taunt it, he War Axes into it, it's a 4-3. This gets buffed up and then you can just trade it in, so it's the same thing. Except we leave open the possibility that we get fucked by Frothing Berserker. So charge is just better here, I think. We're gonna have to eat some damage here. But the Menagerie Warden next turn on the Tiger actually puts us in a pretty good spot on board. We're really hoping there's no Bittertide Hydra here. Okay. That's fine. That's not fine. He played too many things this turn. Innervate's the best draw, so we can Wrath the 5-3. I think we're still doing this, though. I think this is the line of play that can win the game, even though it seems like we're going to eat at least 13 damage here. Oh man, the Hydra. We actually almost have lethal here. 15 face puts him at 11. And then we could Leroy put him to 5 and then Wrath this to put him to 2.
Time waits for no one.
I think we just have to try to get this board under control. Taunt up here. Hopefully he can't get through the Druid of the Claw, and then I can Mark of Yasharaj Faceless Manipulator it next turn. It's kind of a bummer. Innervate so we can UI. Easy top deck. Shell Shifter's so good. So even if he can kill the Shell Shifter, we should just be able to kill him. I think we're favored. No, he plays Mortal Strike! No one plays Mortal Strike, it's a bad card! Oh my god. I guess if I hadn't marked my taunt, I could have played around double Mortal Strike. Or wait, no, was I just dead to double Mortal Strike? I think I was at less than 8, wasn't I? I don't fucking know.